I am back. And for all the listeners who are not aware, we did an episode last week, or the boys did an episode last week that I got my little chance to be a part of with a pre-recorded message. They talked about Spider-Man: Brand New Day being the best Spider-Man movie. So if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun listening to that on the drive. Um, and they mentioned as well where I was. I was in Minnesota for SummerSlam for both nights. Uh, it was so much fun. Got to meet a bunch of the wrestlers. We met NXT superstars Lizzie Rain, Miles Bourne, and then to cap off the weekend, I got to meet your new women's champion Chelsea Green, which was so fantastic. She was such a kind person, and she smelled really good. But
Okay,
she
all
Why
right.
did.
did you
Let
say
me
it like
just
that?
let me just go
Why?
ahead and interject myself
Oh,
in here.
No, she smelled so good.
First and
it's
foremost,
awful.
first and foremost, welcome back. We are glad to have you here,
I'm not. Not if you're gonna say
ladies and
stuff like
gentlemen.
that.
Just had to.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Passes Over Screen. Yes, Steven is correct on everything. I guess everything that he just
I
mentioned.
am.
Uh, we missed you a lot, and we're glad that you sent in your thoughts and opinions on Spider-Man: Brand New Day. If you want to go check out that episode, Mike and I broke it all down on Fandom Frequency. We turned our frequencies all the way to Queens, MCU Queens, and uh, we talked a little Spider-Man. So it's a lot of fun, but we're not talking about Spider-Man here because Steven, as you know, and Mike, as you know, we all three are very big wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, Mike and I, not to, plug anything, but Mike and I actually host a wrestling podcast here in Memphis for a local wrestling company. It's called And in This Corner, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We like to have fun with it. Um,
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But what I will say is, Steven, I'm very excited to hear all about your trip and how it went about, some of the matches that you liked. Because we're don't get us wrong, guys. We have a reason why we're talking about this, but I want to hear Steven's point first.
Yeah, I mean, night one we were really stoked. We found out during the show that Brock and Oba was going to be the main event, and it wasn't going to be Punk and Cody, which that was kind of a surprise, having a non-title match as the main event. Um, you know, I don't know. Night one was kind of lackluster. I thought the matches went way too quick. Like we logged the matches. The longest one was Cody and Punk at 30 minutes, and then your main event for Hell in a Cell was 11 minutes long, which was super disappointing. Especially now knowing that Brock Lesnar has officially retired from the WWE. That's just, I think, just disrespectful. But who knows? That's not my decision to make. But night two, I think, is where all the storytelling came from. That was the best night. I mean, opening it up with Sammy versus Finn, and they have Nick Aldis come out say we have one more person who's going to join, and the crowd starts getting a little antsy, and we're all starting to cheer. Right as Gunther's music hits, everyone just starts booing. I was literally about to get up and go to the bathroom because I was like, I'm not watching this if Gunther's in it. I do not like that guy. I think he's just has a terrible style of wrestling. And then Nick Aldis makes another little fun point saying, well, I never said it was just going to be one more person getting added. We got to add another
Mm.
one. And that was the return of KO, which was so incredible. That pop was nuts. Like I couldn't even hear myself
Yeah.
screaming. Um, and I was actually at KO's last match at the Royal Rumble, the ladder match with Cody. So seeing his last match and then seeing his return 17 months later was pretty cool. But I think the best match of the night had to be that 10 plus year war between Seth and Roman.
Oh my goodness.
And just like the brutality of that match, the storytelling was just fantastic. But at the end, Roman stood tall. And I think the great thing about that too, now that we're kind of delving into this, is that wrestling is really good at when it comes down to their storytelling. They do a lot of great things about making you feel for some of these people and the build up. I mean, we've seen stories last over 8 years, and those just pay off really well. And we have wrestlers delving and jumping into Hollywood and being a part of that scene because they do genuinely just have that talent. It's not
Yeah.
just being crazy athletic, uh, but they're just also just really incredible performers as well. And then you've seen it from the likes of, John Cena to Batista to The Rock is probably the most famous one who's just dipped into Hollywood and that's just become his thing. And that's what we're going to talk about today is wrestlers turned actors and kind of
Yes.
where we would say we have like maybe favorite roles that they've played or favorite movies that have starred them. But that's going to be our conversation all today.
Yes.
You
Yes.
mentioned.
Yes. I'm very excited.
Ooh, I'm sorry, JT. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Steven, you mentioned Roman Reigns. He's gonna be in the upcoming Street Fighter movie, along with a handful of other wrestlers. Cody Rhodes.
Yep. Yep.
Who else is in there? There's a handful, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten to the point where, you know, I think a lot of people in just the general world understands how wrestling works, right? Like I remember back in the day growing up, it was like, oh, you have no idea what's going on. And when The Rock, made his decision to go into acting, it was like what? Like that's insane. Why would anybody go from doing this in the ring and on the microphone and stuff like that? Like why would you go to acting? Well, like you mentioned, Steven, he is probably one of the better known actors now. Like I mean, he is basically in every single movie. But then that opened the door for so many other people. And yeah, Mike, to your point, we've got two probably of the biggest names in WWE right now that will be in a movie together coming up later this year in Street Fighter with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I think like we could probably sit here and definitively say that they are two of the faces of WWE at this moment.
Easily.
But I want to know from you guys, what do y'all when you watch a wrestler on screen, like in a wrestling ring, does that ever give you guys like, yeah, he could be a good actor, or like I can definitely see him being in a movie, or her, or he or she could be in a great movie? Like, does that ever cross your mind, or you're like, no, I think they should stick to wrestling?
Well, I think it's because their wrestlers are always selling themselves, right? Like constantly on either on screen or in the ring. They are the product. They are what.
Yeah.
So I think getting on a mic and doing that. There's really no script to it. I mean, they might have a loose outline, but you go out there and you feel that adrenaline, man. You're just popping off.
Yeah.
And most of the time you
Yeah.
can tell that. So you kind of have to have that bone in you to be able to improv, learn on the fly, like be able to think on your toes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that translation is just kind of natural. I mean, we don't know to how much they're playing a character in the ring because I mean, you're playing a character on screen, so it's just
Yeah.
literally hand in hand.
Right, right. I mean, we don't know these. I mean, we know some of these wrestlers' government names, but like when it comes to like when they get credited in movies and stuff, like a lot of people put their actual like wrestling name in there. Like it has become a part of them, and they are now that person moving forward. So like, like if like The Rock, we all know him as Dwayne Johnson, right? But I have seen in some credited movies it be him get credited for Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
It's like okay,
Doom, Walking
like
Tall, all of those early ones for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, because people don't know him as Dwayne Johnson yet because his government name hasn't been out there a lot. Now in wrestling, I mean, people throw their government names out there like it's like it gets a reaction out of the crowd. And Mike, you said it perfectly too. These people are playing characters on both sides. And so it's very easy for them, and at least I would think it's very easy for them to say, hey, Steven, we are going to have you play a character called, the Terrifier, or no, well, I can't use that one. Just something like whatever. When
MF
you get
Strange.
into yeah, you're gonna be MF Strange in wrestling. All right, you're gonna have this whole character where you've got like this mantra of you don't know what's going on, but it's always going to be strange, and that's going to be your catchphrase or whatever. And then they're like, you do this for a while, and then you go into acting, and it's like, hey, strange, like people are going to come up to you and say that to
Yeah.
you, right? And then they're like, you're actually going to play the goodest of good guys. So now you have to change your whole mindset of what you're going to do in this movie. I mean, like look at Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in Street Fighter. I know we brought it up a while, for a couple times here, but I mean, they have to completely change who they are.
Akuma's a
Yeah,
bad guy. Akuma is not a good character in Street Fighter.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
that's why it
I
plays
mean,
perfectly
you've
for
gotta-
Roman. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
As long as we've known him, I think as long as he's been really, really popular, like the top of the mountain, he has been a heel. And I
Yeah.
think those two guys, and JT and Mike, you guys make great points. I mean, despite them being faces of the company, they were really born into it as kids, and they've seen how like this whole thing works behind the scenes and pulling a word out of the wrestling world
industry of
to
it all.
everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
they keep what's called kayfabe alive. So they do a good job at just like at all times around and in the arena, they're a character. Like, I think it's just a testament to how consistent they can do it. And I think when you get them into like a movie set, they don't have to worry about being in front of a live audience where they could, break character or anything like that here. They just have different takes and they can be at the best of their abilities. But we've seen some wrestlers who haven't had the greatest performance, and sometimes it doesn't translate, and that's all right. But there are some who have definitely stood up and really made a big name for themselves.
Right. I think we obviously know some of the bigger ones, right? You know, The Rock, John Cena, Batista. I think, and maybe I'm speaking out of out of turn here, but I think those three are the biggest and the best wrestlers turned actors.
I love Batista,
right?
man. He
Because
is such a good actor.
All
He's
three,
great.
two of the three are technically retired in Batista and John Cena. The Rock, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess he's retired, but he still has a role in the company.
He
Like,
likes to keep that money spout open.
whatever.
He likes to have multiple business
Yeah,
ventures.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Of those three, and there's plenty of more, but I want to know from you guys, of those three, two-part question here. A, who do you think is the best of the three? And B, who do you think has had the most success in their acting careers?
Success-wise, The Rock, for sure. Far and away. He's made billions upon billions of dollars. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, take over. I think,
No, you're good.
No.
for body of work, I would have to say Batista. I just think, things like Glass Onion just show his diversity. Knock at the Cabin. I really liked that book, The Cabin at the End of the
Yep.
World, so Knock at the Cabin was really good. Yeah, I just think he has the most...
Guardians.
Guardians. He just has the most diversified portfolio, I think. Like, John Cena now has been giving a lot of great performances, but I think a lot of them can kind of get one note. Like, that comedy character he plays is all kind of that dumb, kind of big,
Yeah, like in Ricky Stenicki
But-
Yep.
and yeah.
I was
Yeah,
just about to say
exactly.
Ricky Stenicki. He's in
He was in
Head of State, I think.
he was in
I
that-
think that's the title of the movie.
that movie with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, Sisters, where he's a drug dealer, where he just
Yeah. Blockers. He's in Blockers, as I don't know what if he told his agent, hey, I want to do more comedy movies.
Fred.
Because growing up, John Cena was all his character was always that
Fred.
that rapper thug type, Dr. Thugonomics character.
Like
and
the
it's
Marky Mark of the WWE.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's turned into this this comedy character of sorts. I mean, I think Batista and John Cena have both found their roles when it comes to what made them break out. And I think for Batista, it was obviously Drax in Guardians. And for John Cena, it was Peacemaker. Easily. That is John Cena's role.
Yeah.
I think he could play that as long as he wanted to because he's so good at it.
Yeah.
Season 2,
But,
he
for The
did have a
Rock-
couple of points in season 2 that were genuinely emotionally charged. I was impressed.
I feel like they might be taking a little
Yeah.
bit of a ladder step with with the way that some of these guys' careers like take off, for example, like The Rock started with doing like I mean obviously you kind of want to squeeze him into getting action because that's where he's most comfortable at. But then they start to kind of flex into comedy where you had him in The Tooth Fairy, The Game Plan.
Yep.
Jungle
And-
Cruise.
Yeah, I think that maybe John
Jumanji.
Cena's kind of teetering on that line too because he was always known as being like a baby face. So it's like, oh, let's get him in these fun roles and.
But John
you know,
Cena hasn't
yeah.
done a smashing machine though. That's the
exactly.
thing.
That's the thing. I was just about to bring that up. He hasn't done a at least like I don't want to say he hasn't done a serious job because obviously these guys are professionals. I would say Peacemaker's probably the one where it's borderline, getting serious at times and everything. Even then, it doesn't really cross that mark because Peacemaker's a comedic character.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think with Batista, he's probably got my favorite body of work. I gotta agree with Mike on that one. Like, it is just so diverse, and the way that he actually like transforms into a role is really fun to watch. Like, when you take A Knock at the Cabin and then Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, damn, that guy can really do both. He can play a dumb goofball, but he can play a serious, scary guy. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're just speaking on 3. We're going to go down from what we know with our knowledge of wrestlers turned actors, or at least, dip their toe into the acting field. We're just going to go through some other, well-known wrestlers.
Can I say one more
And
thing about?
see-
I'm so sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. But
Yeah,
can I say
no,
one
go
more
ahead,
thing
go
about
ahead.
John Cena before we move on?
Yeah.
Things like 12 Rounds and The Marine. Those are the kind of movies. Like I know they're the dumb action movies, but like even that silent stoic kind of John Cena character were the ones that I thought were gonna be like the Jason Statham maybe type character. But he's like fallen into
Yeah.
that. I see Playing with Fire. I've never seen that. It looks like a family comedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one with Eric Andre called Little Brother. I haven't watched that
just
one
came
yet.
out.
newest one,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that just came out.
Okay, well, yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, I just wanted to say, but it's things like 12 Rounds in the Marine. I did want to mention those because I do.
Yeah.
Those are for me a guilty pleasure, even though they've got horrible ratings. I do enjoy those dumb action flicks.
Right.
Well, I mean, speaking on perfect segue, because the Marine has Mike Mizanin, the Miz,
Yeah.
who actually kind of went a little bit opposite of wrestler to actor, because he was an actor sort of that went into wrestling and then did movies afterwards. I mean, he was on what was it? Real World? Was he on the Real World, I think?
I think that's
Then-
He was on a
Big game show.
reality TV show. Yeah, he was on a reality TV show, and his charisma, and he wanted to be a wrestler. That just happened to get into acting and becoming on a television show. And then after the television show, people were like, yeah, you really could probably get into wrestling because of how well and how, charismatic you are and how, energized you are. And so he did Tough Enough. And I don't think he won Tough Enough, but he still got a contract with WWE. And now he's been there for what, over 10 years
Yeah.
with the company.
Two-time
And then
Grand
he's done
Slam
other
champion.
movies. Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah. I mean, he's done tremendous in the company, and he's also starred in movies like The Marine. He's been in other movies as well, but
Hamster and Gretel. How about
yeah,
that? Santa's Little Helper. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was in Supernatural.
yeah. I'm almost positive all the WWE wrestlers have been in that Scooby-Doo special that they had at one time. So we'll just, there's that credit for that. But then you have characters like Jacob Goodnight from See No Evil, who is played by Kane. So
It's a
who
classic
now
one.
is
I
a
actually
governor.
love those movies.
Yeah.
Like he is now a governor. I think it was the governor of Knoxville, Tennessee, or Knox County,
Absolutely.
Tennessee.
bananas.
I don't know, but it's crazy how wrestling can literally just propel you into other
It's a different
things
stratosphere.
like acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like acting, like we're mentioning.
Steven mentioned
another.
earlier. Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Roddy Piper. They
Yeah.
live in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's
Yep.
one of my favorites.
Yep.
I love Roddy, so that's
Yeah, he's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
live
But
as
speaking
fools.
on other wrestlers, AEW's Paul White, or as many of you know, The Big Show. He was Captain Insano in The Waterboy. So like that's crazy. I
Andre
don't
the
see
Giant?
like
Princess Bride.
yeah
Anybody
yeah
wanna be
yeah
that?
yeah. Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. He was, he starred in that movie.
We did
One of my
miss
personal
Macho Man Randy
favorites.
Savage as Bonesaw McGraw
There it
in Sam
is.
Raimi's first
That's the
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
one.
yep, yep. Get over here. Yep.
Bonesaw,
Well,
get
that's
down
not.
here.
Get down here.
I don't know how you guys feel about Roadhouse. That's one of my favorite Patrick Swayze flicks.
I
Terry
enjoyed
Funk
it.
was.
Yeah.
I love that movie
Yeah.
so much. It's such great cheesy '80s fun.
We also have Jesse the Body Ventura as
Predator,
Blaine
right?
Cooper in Predator. Yep.
God, Predator's so.
I remember
good.
watching that movie, and I was like, "Oh, it's the body, awesome!" And then he dies, and I'm like, "Ah, like
Body
no,
gets bodied. Mhm.
yeah, yeah."
I would like to
The
you did
wrestler-
mention what, Steven?
Oh, I just because I would like to say like there is one movie out there that always comes to my mind right away of like the most wrestlers I think I've seen on screen, and that's The Longest Yard. That is just like
Yeah.
nothing but a cast of wrestlers, and I mean you got like the Great Khali, you got Stone Cold, I believe
Goldberg.
Goldberg is in there. Was Kevin Nash in that one too?
He's
Yeah.
got to be. Yeah.
Yeah, Nash
Yep.
was in that one.
Yep.
I mean that's just
And
Kevin
they all
Nash is in so much stuff.
play like the big buff bodyguards.
the big
like
buff
they're all
Fred,
like
yeah,
the
it's so
yeah.
good. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody off. But that's the one I just came right to my brain.
Yeah, no, I mean that's perfect, and it's because there's two iterations of The Longest Yard. We're talking about
Yeah,
the one
the
that's
newest
like
one.
I guess the with Adam Sandler and stuff. So yeah,
The old one is great
Mike,
too.
you were
though.
saying something?
Yeah. Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke has like a couple of like indie wrestlers that I thought was really cool, like Ernest Cat Miller, Necro Butcher.
Yeah, true.
pretty
You
neat.
also mentioned earlier, Mike, about sometimes these movies don't do really well, and sometimes they are not viewed as in the audience's scope as a good movie, because The Rock has done a lot of those, and one of them is Luke Hobbs in Hobbs and Shaw, or Fast and Furious franchise, which hey, we should have ended after Tokyo Drift, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Again, you mentioned Andre the Giant, Princess Bride. Love that movie. That movie, like every time I see him, I just get like a grin on my face because he's just so fun in that movie. Let's see, who else? Anybody else that y'all can remember? Obviously, Batista as Drax the Destroyer. I feel like Kevin Nash has also gotten into that role of like playing. And maybe it's not just Kevin Nash, I should say. A lot of the wrestlers that do turn like into the acting career, I feel like the directors kind of grab them and say, "Hey, we're gonna have you as this big buff guy, or we're gonna have you as like the guy who can do a lot of action." Because Kevin Nash was in John Wick. How crazy is that?
I remember that.
Well, Kevin Nash is one of those guys. It seems like, and this is I find really fascinating. He's like kind of maybe a locker room guy. So like somebody that can like kind of keep people going in those hard days, and that's something that Sean Avery. And we talked about this in the Odyssey episode. Sean Avery was there with Christopher Nolan set. He's been there for Oppenheimer and the Odyssey now. And Christopher Nolan has mentioned like he's just kind of like one of those guys that like just keeps everybody motivated. Like they call him a locker room guy because he just like keeps everybody fired up to keep going, and especially in a film like the Odyssey that's so mentally and physically taxing. It's awesome to have people like that around. So it's cool to see Kevin Nash. I think probably has taken over that role too, maybe in movies because he seems to show up a lot in, like you said, a big man role. Blade, I believe, Blade Trinity, or no, that's Triple H.
Triple
But
H, yeah.
Kevin Nash, I believe, is in the first Blade. I think.
And Kevin
think
Nash
so.
was also in
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the second movie. He was Shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Secret of the Ooze.
Yep.
Yep. Bam Bam Bigelow
But
in Major Pain. Forgot about that.
He
one.
is.
Yes.
Yeah. But it also spans like we're talking about like early 2000s into currently 2026. We also need to go back. I mean, Princess Bride came out in what 80? What year did that come out?
was like 80. I have it.
86,
I think like 86 or 87.
maybe. I can't remember exactly the exact date of Princess Bride, but
87.
87. In 1994, there was a movie called Ed Wood by Tim Burton, and that starred George the Animal Steel. He was one of the like icons in WWF at the time. And so, yeah, I mean, 1994 was when that happened. 1993, again, Hogan was Mr. Nanny, or he was in the movie Mr. Nanny.
Can I circle back real quick to Rowdy Roddy? Because I know I said him in Always Sunny, but I gotta highlight They Live because I love They Live. It has a classic scene in there. I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
Yes, sir. 1988 is a classic. I love John Carpenter too, so that's one.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be like what we're saying in this episode, of Past the Silver Screen is that wrestling and acting are made from the same cloth, but not necessarily, the same. And you know what I mean? Like obviously wrestling is going to be exactly. Wrestling can be a shirt and acting can be a quilt, but they're made from the same cloth. So it's essentially like, I think wrestlers know you can only do so much in the business. Like look at people like Triple H, who has not been in that many movies, but he has been in wrestling for so long that he's now the chief creative officer in WWE. Like he is the main guy. Like that's the dude when you think of WWE. He's the head of it.
Wasn't Edge
so like
also
there's
in
different
one?
paths. Edge is in one. CM Punk. Now,
Edge is that guy. I used to
granted,
love Edge as a kid.
when wrestlers do go on the big screen, some of their movies don't actually get on the big screen. Some
Straight
of them
to
are
DVD.
straight to DVD.
Yep.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
Ooh, real quick, I'm sorry. I gotta really interject this because this is a Memphis treasure right here. We didn't even mention the King Jerry Lawler and
Yes.
Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey. So.
Yep. But also, like some of those wrestlers back in the day, when they were trying to really push wrestling as a big thing, they would go on like late night shows, and they would go on
Hurt people.
like Jerry Lawler had a very infamous feud with
Andy Kaufman.
Miss Andy Kaufman, on David Letterman. So like, like that like.
And that scene from Man on the Moon is based on that actual real life encounter.
And you gotta push the product however you can.
I mean, Roddy did the same thing with Bill Maher. I mean, he was saying that wrestling was fake and all that, and he gets up and literally pulls his pants down, pulls his shirt up, and he was like, "These bruises aren't fake. Broken bones aren't fake." He is.
Don't you ever tell a wrestler that wrestling's fake?
Never,
Don't you ever do it?
They stand on business every single time. And even
I would know.
Yeah, even people like going back to like Grayson
JT's
Waller.
been in the ring.
He was on a talk show in Australia, and he did the same thing. He was like, "Well, isn't it fake?" And he just started. I mean, that is
wailing
just like
on the guy.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like that's just talking down to someone's craft and something that they've practiced for so long. And like
we see with shows like Dark Side of the Ring, like these men put their bodies through absolute hell, and they the painkiller addictions and alcohol dependency. Like we see it happen so much with these guys. It's so sad to see. Chris Benoit with CTE, Eddie Guerrero. Like we see these people go through absolute hell for the fans, and to take what they're putting. I can't even fathom. Like,
I applaud wrestlers because as fun as it is to like watch, and I mean, I bet you all three of us have had those moments where you're thinking of like. You envision yourself in a ring, you're like, oh, that would be so sick. But like,
well, JT's been in one.
Yeah,
JT's been there.
Our lovely co-host JT here was in a Royal Rumble, almost got spanked a few times. It was fantastic.
Okay.
He's now retired.
All right.
And he is retired. Not even one. Here's the thing. He might be on Mount Rushmore. He was in a Rumble, didn't even take a bump.
Not even a bump.
And he retired. Come on, that's just that's incredible.
Went over the top, took himself out. He didn't get taken out.
Took himself
That's one thing
out.
we need to know. He took himself out of the ring when our GM entered, and JT was like, "Okay, that's a 7-foot tall man. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make my exit." So again, no one took him out.
Fantastic.
No one can say that JT was taken out by anybody.
Look, I'm just saying, when our theme song hit, Mike, for our podcast. I was extremely excited.
He said he
I know
didn't hear
you were
anything.
extremely. I know you were extremely shocked.
Oh yeah.
And then I was. I mean, my adrenaline was rushing, and then I jumped inside the ring and stood with the giants that there are in that ring,
Steven,
and I lost all hope.
Steven, just quick sidebar. I wish you could have seen some of these guys' faces because obviously most of these men are. It's 18 dudes. Like you can't make all of these men aware that this guy's going to be in there, and this is just a guy to them.
Yeah.
He's just a dude. So like he went to this one guy, Kevin Bless, and JT's like, "We're good." Kevin turns around and goes, "What the? Like, what do you even think you're doing in here?" Like, just looking at him sideways. I was like, "Oh, JT, please get
Yeah.
out of there. Please get out of there." Yeah, I was scared for his life for a little bit because we love our co-host and we don't want anything to happen to him. But you know what? You did put yourself in that situation. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. But maybe one little bump wouldn't hurt you. You know, you get in there, you got to take something. I think.
Yeah.
Well, look, I got a noogie, I got a wet willy, and I almost got spanked by a belt. So I
wish you got
think
spanked.
Hate
I-
wet willies.
I think I paid my dues.
Okay.
I think so.
I think I paid my dues.
But
I think
I-
I paid my dues. But
and that brings it back
mean,
to the whole
Yeah.
point of these guys putting their bodies through hell, and when they're on a movie set, I want to know, like, because I know it probably doesn't come out too much, but how much of these dudes are doing their own stunts because they are used to that level of athleticism. Like people like The Rock, I don't think you would have him do his own stunts sometimes, just because you need to
He's
have
like
him
a-
there and he needs to work.
Yeah, he's a
But-
star.
Yeah,
You
I
think
bet
that
you there's
they'd,
a lot
like-
of other ones that do.
You think they'd take
Yeah.
their foot off the gas a little bit, right? Like if there's somebody that's gonna come in there and be like, "Hey, I got this for you," they'd be like, "Okay, well you do it for me then." Like, I don't have to do everything by myself.
Right,
But
yeah.
then there's also that ego of like, I can do this by myself. But then you also have the liability. I'm sure there's a lot that plays into it. Like you literally can't do this stunt, sir, because you're a giant man, and if you do it, you're gonna break something. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, and I think that's what a lot of like I feel like a lot of wrestlers that go into movies, I do feel like they have to rely on their stunt double, like
Heavily.
no, like all exactly like because you got to think about it. They are most likely contractually obligated to not get
Not
hurt. Like
yeah.
because if they get hurt on a set, they're hurt in the wrestling, and we all know, like especially like if you're not a wrestling fan and you're just an average fan, storylines that you are seeing go on now in wrestling have been talked about and taken like they have been talked about for years, months in advance. And so if let's say Roman Reigns is in a storyline with a new a wrestler, whatever. Okay, so Roman is doing this thing. He's leading up. There's a lot of lead up, a lot of tension being built. But then he gets casted as this guy in this movie. And let's say on set, he does a stunt and he, tears something or ruptures something or whatever. Okay, now WWE has to then scrap everything that we have been building up to just to like fast forward what they're like. There is a lot of liability there, but it's also a lot of trust in the company with their their performers who you've got to you gotta have that respect level of
Cautious.
saying, hey, you can go do this and act in this movie and because wrestling's not forever. We all know that. Like people retire.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do afterwards? Are you just
You know
gonna sit around and not do much, or are you gonna try to have your hand in this? And I like John Cena just retired this year, and he is now doing more movies, and I think that's great for him. He's found another love, but outside of wrestling, he still loves wrestling, according to different interviews, but he's done putting his body through that circuit, and he'd rather do it a different way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
20
and
years of
that's
pain, like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
just for
Takes
the
your
fans'
toll.
entertainment is a lot. And the schedule they go through, I mean, these guys are up and at it at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning doing interviews, doing press. Then they have to go to, like, backstage, do autographs, merchandise, possible meet and greets. Then they do this show, which is usually at, like, 5 or 6 in the afternoon, doesn't end until about 8 or 9. They got to
Yep.
rush back home or either go to an airport and go right to the next city, and it's grueling. And I
Constantly swarmed by fans, I'm sure, like not even a lot of
Yeah.
time to just be yourself and stuff. I think I found really fascinating to JT's point. I've heard story of talks in like the NHL with like rookies and stuff not being able to like do water sports in their off season and stuff like that in
Wow.
their contracts. So like you got to even I don't even imagine what these superstars have to sign for the liabilities and things of that
Mhm.
Oh,
nature.
yeah.
Like because you got to think water skiing and wakeboarding and stuff like that. You hit the water the wrong way, like you can destroy something.
Really, yeah.
Yep.
So like I mean, and these guys are
Yeah.
just units, dude. So like you hit something the wrong way, you come off a stunt the wrong way, you're hanging on some sort of like wire weird, pull something, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that John's. It is fascinating to see how John Cena has translated that into such a flourishing career. I like The Rock, all of this stuff. Um, yeah, cool,
I mean,
John.
going out like things
Yeah.
like
It's
The Rock when he did the Smashing Machine, and he literally had trained like learning MMA for months in advance, and like he did a lot of his own stuff in that movie. But I'm sure there's a few shots out of there that like he just did not attempt. But
'Cause you can't do stuff like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky and get punched in the face.
No.
Like, you can't do that anymore.
yeah, no, you can't get like knocked out on set. Even if it's something as like I don't want to say that's simple because I mean getting knocked out is a scary thing and like that whole process. But if it's not even I don't know, it's too much. But there are a lot of wrestlers too that like it could damage the way that they even if they are in talks to be in a movie and they get like injured in a ring or whatever. Like I believe Seth Rollins was in talks for a movie and then when he like hurt his knee,
Yep.
it just got pulled because he couldn't
Yep.
do it. So it's like that's another
Mhm.
thing that's it's such a difficult I think that might be one of the most on paper simple and easy transitions to make, but like in reality it's probably one of the most difficult transitions to make.
The
Where it's
balance,
like
yeah.
Oh,
Especially if
absolutely.
you're
in
doing
mind.
both at the same time, I'm sure. Like The Rock was doing, like John Cena was doing, at the early parts of their careers where they were doing in tandem. Like, yeah, going to going to movie sets and then probably having to go film wrestling right after that, dude.
And
No,
as
thank
we all
you.
know, movie sets are, I mean, those are long days. Those are 15, 16-hour days that you are just nonstop
People
working.
running around just hectic places.
Yeah, and sometimes it could be a 15, 16-hour day, but 8 hours of your day is sitting in your trailer waiting for your time to call. But you have to be up and ready, and you got to be actively, like, warming up, and it's grueling. I couldn't even imagine that lifestyle, and I think that's where we probably gain all of our respect for the sport too, is because we. It's not that we know the behind the scenes, but we have a good insight of like what they actually go through and just how daunting that is. You don't have time to
Yeah.
even have a
Mhm.
family.
And
like
Exactly.
right, and it's not just the men that are doing this. Female wrestlers, women wrestling is been on fire lately. Some of the best action in the ring is from the female competitors.
Paige fighting with my family. There's a whole movie
eh,
about her.
yeah,
yeah. Well, I was actually gonna to mention that because she is not necessarily. I haven't seen the movie, but I don't think
Florence
she's
Pugh.
actually in the movie. But Florence Pugh
I
plays
think she makes like a cameo
Paige.
appearance at the end or so. I think she does pop in at some point.
But Zelina Vega,
Mm-hmm.
who is a pro wrestler, she is in the movie.
Yep. Very good in
Um,
it as well.
So she,
she's a sweetheart.
You
Met
need to
her
watch
in
it.
Eve
Minnesota.
Watch that
Torres.
movie. What are you talking about? Nick
I
Frost?
might just do
Yeah,
that.
watch it.
I might just do that. Eve Torres, she's been in a couple of movies, Queens of the Ring, The Scorpion King 4, and Skip Trace.
God, how many Scorpion
some
Kings
movies
did
like
they
that.
make? Like 6?
We're gonna stop at 4, I
Too
guess.
many. AJ Lee was in
Um,
Rabid, which is a really good body horror movie. Mike,
AJ
I'm not sure
Lee's
Yeah.
been in
if
a
you've
couple
seen that,
things,
but it's
hasn't
so
she?
good.
Yeah. Naomi,
Yep.
who is a current WWE wrestler, she was in the Marine 5, Battleground.
How many of those are there?
Summer Rae was in the Marine 4. So we got some some other female wrestlers doing their thing. I think
Well,
one
they've
of
got
the
a-
well-known female wrestlers is Trish Stratus, and she also had her run in acting. She's been in 3 movies.
I'm sure there's
Bail Enforcers, Gridlocked, and Christmas in Rockwell.
I'm sure there's some in Glow, that Netflix show about women's wrestling. There's got to be a couple of cameos in there. Gotta be.
Yep. Oh, and speaking on the Marine movies, Becky Lynch is in the Marine 6.
And also going
Close
back
Quarters.
to JT's favorite franchise, please correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Ronda Rousey in Fast and Furious movie?
Yeah.
Yep. I was just about to get to that.
You were?
You kind of. I was just about to get that. She was in The Expendables 3.
No.
Yep.
She was in Furious 7.
Yep.
Oh my god.
She was in Mile 22 and Entourage.
I thought I was.
Yeah,
having
she
a
was in
fever
Entourage,
dream.
wasn't she? She beat Turtle's ass in Entourage. Yeah, I saw that one in theaters when I was like 16.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, like we said, it's not just the men; the women are also doing it and doing it in style.
That was Furious 7 was the one that they jumped the car from building to building. He literally drives the car through the window into
To the
another
next building. To I think it's like another
Yeah.
parking garage or something, and then they go to the next one.
Yeah, luckily they hadn't gone to space
But, like,
yet.
Yeah.
I also want to also focus on cinema and movies in general have also tapped into what wrestling is in general, because there are a lot of movies that are about wrestling. I think all 3 of us have cried during the movie
Iron Claw.
The Iron Claw.
So many tears.
And it's such a great movie.
I cried during
So
the
good.
wrestler.
I love
So
it.
good. I love the wrestler too.
The Wrestler, yeah. Yep.
Mickey Rourke is so good in that one. That was supposed to be his
That might
comeback.
be his best
Yeah,
role
and-
ever.
I agree.
I think there's
The
there's
Expendables.
one on here that I saw in theaters. I can't remember when I saw it, but it was Queen of the Ring.
Mm.
It came out in 2024.
Mildred Burke, right?
It fought Mildred
Yeah.
Burke. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yep. And that was a great movie. I enjoyed it like as a wrestling fan. I enjoyed it more than most. But like it's got a good history of like how women's wrestling and how Mildred Burke kind of started that revolution of women's wrestling. And I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's
Yeah.
really good. And then Mike, you mentioned it at the top. Smashing Machine, A24.
We
Fantastic
saw that one
movie.
together.
I really enjoyed that movie. I think that is The Rock's best performance.
Easily. Wait, you're saying that Black Adam
Yeah.
is not your favorite Rock performance?
Yo, Black Adam rips.
Look, it got ripped to shreds. That's what it
Can I
got
be
ripped.
in the
It was
minority
a whole
really
new.
quick?
It was
It-
a whole new start for DC.
I saw that movie in theaters opening night with Damien.
Why?
And because here's my thing. I've always really loved The Rock. I'm just a Rock lifer. And I remember we got done watching the movie, and I looked at Damien, he looked at me, and I was like, bro, that was actually a lot of fun. Like, I actually enjoyed, like, just the time watching it was fun. Seeing Henry Cavill's Superman was fun, even though they did nothing with that afterwards. Seeing my favorite DC character, Dr. Fate, in that movie was just so sick. Like, it was one of those movies that was just fun. But yeah, I mean, granted, it's not good, but it was fun.
I high key love Doom, so I'm right with you right there.
See, and yeah, Doom is a fun movie too. And like,
Yeah.
hey, growing up, I loved the Scorpion King. I thought that was awesome. I was like, this is crazy. But I mean,
No,
you're a kid,
I'll
so
still-
every movie is super cool to you, you know.
If I'm watching the Mummy movies, I'm gonna watch the Scorpion King at least 1 and 2, just for nostalgia's sake.
You have to. Yeah,
gonna skip
it's just like jumping back to it. But one question I did want to propose to you guys that I think is like, you know, pretty interesting in a sense is like we see these movies that are made about wrestling or like boxing, and we talked about people like Mickey Rourke. And are there any other like actors out there that you've seen that have done movies like that you think could probably step into the squared circle? And maybe are there wrestlers active right now who do you think that could actually have some pretty good careers?
I was just about to mention one that was gonna have that I feel like would be a fantastic actor
Do
without
it.
the makeup or even with the makeup. Danhausen would
Yeah,
be phenomenal. I feel.
love Danhausen.
Oh yeah, no, he would him in a movie would be absolutely hilarious. Um, that would sell so well to people. I think like man, it would make so much human
Like,
monies. Um,
like Liv Morgan's gonna be in a movie. It's coming out actually very soon. I think it's like a
yeah,
foreign film though, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah,
But there's a lot of people
yeah,
I think on both AEW and like WWE rosters that I think could be pretty talented actors. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I'm like I'm thinking
MJF.
like
yeah, I mean,
he's actually been
we
in
got
movies.
him in Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
completely
He's in the
blanked on that.
longest,
Is he the longest yard?
not the longest
I was
yard.
about to say.
no,
No, he's
too
in
young.
He's too young for that.
Iron Claw.
Oh, he's in
Claw,
Iron
yeah.
Claw.
Iron Claw.
Yes, he is. Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah,
well,
there's a lot of
JT
people.
shut
Like,
me
Iron
up.
Claw.
Okay.
I think maybe even like Tony Storm would be really good in some movies too. Like if she did like a
Mm,
timepiece
yeah.
movie, like that would be fun. I mean,
That'd be that. Seeing some of these wrestlers, yeah, you could see like their faces in like a period piece or something like that. I always find
Yeah.
that fascinating. You look at somebody's face and you'd be like, they look like a Victorian-esque. And
Yeah.
it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like if I don't see Tony
Yeah.
Storm being
I
Marilyn
think,
Monroe
like-
one day, I might be upset.
Wait,
I think,
Ana de
like,
Armas, what are you talking
like,
about, bro?
That is true. She's. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna say like Braun Breaker. I can see him being
Yeah,
like
that's a good.
like if they ever did like a reboot of The Longest Yard, I
He
can
would
see
definitely
him
be Stone
like
Cold's
having a
character in that movie.
Adam Sandler,
yeah
67.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of actors that turned wrestlers too. I mean, Jelly Roll. Well, he's not really an actor.
Jake Paul.
Hey, whoa,
Jake
whoa,
Paul,
whoa.
his entire life is an act.
No. Oh well, yeah,
That's true.
that's true. I'm trying to think of who else. Like, because I mean, wrestler or actors have had very
I think Dominic
minor
Mysterio would be a great
roles.
actor. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just
Dominic
Oh,
would be
absolutely.
so good. He would be someone in like.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately,
He
he'd be
just-
someone in like a new ballerina movie that just gets killed in like a really gruesome way.
Yeah, he'd be like
I
a
would love
gangster,
that.
like a grimy, kind of like Oliver Tree in Paradise Records. He'd just be somebody that's like maybe a comic relief character or something like that.
Yeah. But that would be yeah. I think he would like thrive in
Gunther,
those roles.
Yeah.
as much as I don't like him, he would be really good in a movie.
Wait,
As
wait,
that-
we didn't
like-
even mention
like that
Hornswoggle. How did we
foreign-
completely glaze over Hornswoggle?
Hey, Wisconsin legend, shout out.
Dude, love the Leprechaun. What?
Yeah. Gosh, I'm maybe like I'm thinking of like younger wrestlers who are, just starting in the wrestling business that might have an opportunity down the
Walker
line
13.
because of who they are. Soul Ruka,
Your
Oh,
girlfriend, yeah.
Soul Ruka.
I don't
can
want to
see
say the
that.
cliche ones. Like, I don't want to
Um,
say like Rhea Ripley and all that. Like it's just, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care for that.
Yeah,
she's gonna be
I
in
would
Terrifier
say,
4.
like, she is gonna be, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that is true.
I'm-
That is true. Yeah,
I'm excited
I think
for
that
that
might be her
I
first
think
movie
so.
that she's going to be in.
There's a bunch of
Fortnite.
talent out there.
Yeah.
For sure.
What? Did you say Fortnite?
She was in Fortnite.
I mean, so is Stone Cold and Liv Morgan. So
And Bianca Belair.
and
Undertaker.
Undertaker. Yeah,
Rey
and Becky
Mysterio.
Lynch.
John Cena.
So
Peacemaker.
they're all in Fortnite. But yeah, I mean, overall, I
Nikki
think
from
like
Obsession.
what we can agree on is that acting and wrestling, while they're totally different realms, they are still one of the same. And I think there's a lot of fantastic actors who could probably step in the ring, and there's a lot of people in the ring that could probably go into acting.
What did we say? Any actors that we think
it's-
could wrestle besides Jelly Roll and I don't Jelly's not.
Well,
Florence
I wouldn't
Pugh,
even
I
call
think,
Jelly Roll
could.
an
I mean,
actor.
she's just
Florence, you could
athletic
definitely do
beyond
it.
belief.
I mean, she did it with Fighting with My Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
David Arquette.
I think
David Arquette did it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
he has
But
his
like,
documentary is incredible if you haven't watched it. Like not I think it's like They Can't Kill Me or something like that. Go watch David Arquette's documentary. It's incredible.
but I think a
He
lot of
almost
it too
died
is
in
like
the
the
ring.
actors that step foot in the squared circle, they're not there for very long. Like
David
wrestlers
Arquette
are,
did it for 20
in.
years in the independent circuit. That's what I'm saying.
No, no, no.
I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking about like in general. Like,
Stephen Amell.
um, yeah,
Yes.
Stephen Amell. He
Heels
did
is
it.
so
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
he was actually, I think, wasn't he trying to promote Green Arrow,
Yeah. It
or
was
Heels.
not Green
during
Arrow?
Mania.
It was Heels.
I think
Yeah.
Alan
He was
Richardson would
playing
be
his
really
character
good.
from Heels.
No, he did something for Green Arrow.
Oh. I thought he did the okay, that's my bad.
But I think he also did something for heels. So what I'm saying is like when you're an actor, obviously you don't have the wrestling.
Prowess.
Like, I think it would be more difficult for you to be an actor to go into
Well, because
wrestling. I think
that was why David Arquette did it. So I'm sorry. I'm just gonna glaze him for a second because I think his story is incredible. He had that movie. What was it? What was that movie? Here comes the boom. You know what? That wrestling movie that came out in the '90s. Leave me hanging here.
a lot of them.
I feel like I might be
A
blanking.
lot of them. Yep,
you
you're gonna have to look
greasy
that up.
geese.
Use the interwebs.
Use the interwebs. But while he's
inter-
looking that up here and getting the answer, I think Alan Richardson would also be pretty solid in the ring.
Oh yeah,
Great pull.
yeah.
Like just physique wise, I think he's got it. I think there are also some actors that could probably come in there and be like a comedic kind of wrestler, like someone like Danhausen, where like, just off the top of my head,
The Jackass Boys did it.
yeah, I mean they got
Yep.
murdered on TV, which was pretty funny. I mean,
Was that the Jackass Forever squad?
Steve-O
though?
had a.
like the
I mean, Steve-O had a long not Steve-O, Johnny Knoxville had a long
yeah,
Ready
Sami
to-
Zayn.
like story with Sami Zayn that led into a WrestleMania match. Like, like what are we doing? Like, Johnny Knoxville, no one would have thought. Like, I wouldn't have. Like,
There's
yeah,
also,
that was
like,
that was
that's
incredible.
when you kind of point the finger at being like, that's like the perfect person to throw in a wrestling ring because if they get hurt, they do that for a living. So
like the
you
dudes
might as well
and
just
their
the
job.
Swedish guys I could see doing it. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I real quick. Ready to Rumble.
He got the answer.
Ready to Rumble is the movie.
Never seen it.
Because of that, they had him in WCW, and he won the belt as an actor. And everybody in the wrestling world was pissed. They were like, "Why do you get to come in here and win a
Yep, I
belt?"
remember that.
Obviously,
Yep.
right. So then this comes out years later. You Cannot Kill David Arquette is the documentary, and it tracks his 2-decade trek through the independent circuit to gain the respect from wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
He cut his an artery in the ring in a hardcore match and almost died in the ring. It has all this in the
That's
documentary, and he did all this because he felt he loved wrestling, right? And he wanted to make this movie as a love letter to wrestling, and he didn't go with the work, but it kind of got put upon him, you're gonna do this, and he has to do
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
went through all that just because of his love of wrestling, and I think that dedication is just incredible. I remember I saw that movie or the documentary, and I was just floored.
That is genuine love for the
Yep.
craft. Like putting
Yeah.
your body through that.
Oh, absolutely.
And, just to be like, yeah, I just wanted to make it because I respect what I love. That's crazy.
Yeah, and this it just
Mhm,
follows
exactly.
his whole journey through the hardcore matches, the backyard matches. He literally went through starting from the ground.
That is so sick.
Crazy.
I'll have to check that
Yeah.
out because that sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's I remember when WCW was going on and ECW and then WWE, there's a bunch of
A lot of
you know,
celebrities at that time,
nowadays
too. Like Jay
yeah,
Leno was
yeah,
in
they really
WCW.
wanted to
Hulk Hogan was
yeah,
in Gremlins
yeah.
too. It's
Then
not
you
bad.
had
Yeah.
who was it? I'm blanking on his name in WCW. I can't think of the name now, but you had a lot of wrestlers trying to kind of bridge that gap of acting to wrestling and try to make it one big thing. And I think that would be awesome, especially in today's world. I think if you had a lot of actors that WWE is doing it to where they're kind of branching out to a lot of things,
Yeah.
not just acting. They've got boxing. They've got basketball. I mean, they brought on Tyrese Halliburton and
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for a little segment. Like that stuff is cool because it is bridging that gap, saying like we're not this like unknown territory. Like we still have things going on outside, and like Seth Rollins
and music.
Like Seth Rollins has been on ESPN running like different sports shows talking about football. Like I think that is really cool.
Timothy
Like,
Chalamet was doing on College Game Day, so yeah, it's the same. Like they're doing the same kinds of things to get the product out there. Again, selling themselves. Yeah.
Even comedians coming in.
Speaking of actors turned wrestlers, I can see Sebastian Stan. I can see him being a decent wrestler.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I can see him. Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I can see him doing
doing
something.
I mean, he already stepped his foot into the boxing ring, so I mean, what's the next
Creed?
step up?
Yeah. He literally got knocked out on camera. We've all seen that clip.
So great.
Yep. But anything else y'all want to discuss on this episode?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything I've wanted to say when it comes down to both of these worlds.
Yep. Now, Mike, I know you had a little bit of a grievance that you wanted to get off your chest. So
I do. I don't want to like hold.
This is the.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just don't want it to hold space with me, so I have to just I have to bring it out to you guys because I've just been bothering me for a little bit. This generative AI stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it. I don't know if you guys have heard of this studio, Dark Half Studios. It's an AI generative like visual company.
So stupid.
I was really excited for this movie, The Ice Cream Man, that Eli Roth is making. He had come out and said that the animated scenes are like hand drawn, and come to find out that it's done by this Dark Half Studios, and it's all generative AI. None of it was done by a person. And like I've now seen, because I've been digging into that, I've now seen like a bunch of movies that have mentioned like, oh, it's using generative AI, and I'm confused if you guys know like, where is the line now? Are we just gonna like? Is everything gonna have to come out and say we are not using AI if it's like maybe animated or something looks slightly off? Are we just gonna have to like plant the stake in the ground and say this is not what it seems to be?
Unfortunately, I don't think that there is a line with Hollywood anymore. I think whatever they can find is the easiest and cheapest way to go through and get a movie out. Especially when it comes down to avoiding paying visual effects artists who also put their like mentally like they're putting themselves through hell. I mean, all the deadlines.
And you're an artist, Steven, and that's why this stuff like this bothers me. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but you are so talented, and I couldn't imagine what you do being like ripped away by some machine. Come on, what?
Yeah, and that's another big thing too. Is like when it comes down to like making posters and like when we post it now on Twitter, we have to go through and like say like no AI was used because we're now in that day and age where everyone just thinks it's easy and that we can just pump it out, but what they don't see is like when we work on it, and this stuff will take me like a week or two to work on, and you build things from scratch. Like we'll go through and like just to kind of like do a quick little rant. Like I made a piece for like Joker and Ghost Rider, and a lot of those things like I would have to go through and paint part of a jacket, and I'd have to go through and just texture everything and make sure everything just looks the way that a jacket should, and it's so much work that goes into it when someone can just go and type in a prompt into like Chat GPT and be like, oh, make this, and it just pumps out in a second, and they call it their own work. Like that truly like just bothers me, and I can't imagine what it's like for visual effects artists who need the work because they're getting laid off like crazy from all these different studios. We just saw Marvel do it, and it's just like it's a slap in the face because you can also tell in the product that it doesn't look good. Nothing will beat what the human hand
uncanny.
Can achieve. Yeah,
something rubbery about all of it.
It's bad, and we've seen it recently, like the new Washington movie that came out. That was a lot of generative AI that was used in that movie, and like when I hear stuff like that, I almost don't even want to bother even like spending my own money on it and watching it. Yeah, it's disrespectful to what came before it, and like true filmmakers that aren't around anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just
Christopher Nolan. Let's not. We're not. The craft is still here. No, I'm not
The
trying to
craft is
say.
still
I'm saying that
here.
there are certain people. I wanted to air this gripe because, and Steven, I did want to bring this to you because of the fact I wanted you to go on a little rant. So thank you for that.
Of
JT, you as
course.
well. Like you appreciate the arts, also too as well. You are a cinema lover, and people like Christopher Nolan are still doing it. We see people like Curry Barker that have mentioned that we want original ideas that are made by the human hand. Um, I just don't know. I hate that it seems like I said, like is every movie that comes out now going to have to be like we're not doing this? Cuz even the Texas Chainsaw Rotoscope movie that's coming out slated for next year, they've had to come out and say like it's all hand drawn, it's not AI, it's a 100-year-old technique, and it's like the fact that you even have to state that like, it's not AI. I want you to just see it and enjoy it. I don't want
Yep.
to have this thing in the back of my mind
Hmm.
all the time.
Yeah, I think the issue, like with like Steven mentioned, like a lot of studios and big name corporations are only looking at it from a money
Hmm.
standpoint. So like when you have these layoffs, and I'm not defending anybody, I hate it. I really do. But I think a lot of it is like looking at it from a business standpoint and saying like, okay, we have to spend this much on marketing, we have to spend this much on actors, this much on set design, this much on this much. Where can we save money? Oh, this is free. Okay, well, this is gonna have to like for us to do the most, like to make the most, we have to spend less. And it's like where can we cut our losses, and like what can we do to you know to do that? I hate it. I think it's a stupid idea, because then your movies look like
Yeah.
crap, and you can tell. Um,
That's why
but no, I do think it's gonna be we're living in a world where. Um, AI is just going to be one of those instances where, and maybe I'm in the different here. Steven, I know you've mentioned it before. Mike, I think you have too. So maybe us three in general are just in the minority here. But I can tell when something's AI. I don't know how people don't I don't know how people are like, oh, that looks so real. It's like, bro, that's AI. It's like, how can you tell? It's like,
look at it.
just look at it.
And
Yeah.
It's like, just look
I
at it.
want to do a little quick shameless plug for people that kind of want to understand how AI works or just like how you can really tell the difference with certain things, like especially when it comes down to fire and smoke. With AI videos, you can tell that the fire is not coming from anything, it's just there. The smoke doesn't go anywhere. There's a really good YouTube channel out there that covers movies and visual effects. It's Corridor Digital. So if you guys haven't checked them out, I highly recommend doing so because they have so much good insight on just like avoiding, as we say, AI slop, especially with some of these big companies that use it for commercials. Like we saw Coca Cola do it last year with a commercial for
The
around
trains
Christmas
and
time.
buses and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, like
the
it's
18
just you can
wheelers.
tell it's bad, and it's like that. I think everyone kind of needs to understand also the bad things of what AI is doing when it comes down to how we live every day. I mean,
Yeah.
millions of gallons of water are just being wasted because a single, even like a
Hmm.
single prompt into Chat GPT, it's just bad.
Yeah. That's I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I just like I used to love Eli Roth. I really did. Hostel. I love part one and part two. Part three is shaky. The Green Inferno I think is a silly little fun romp. And just seeing that like I'm not gonna go see the Ice Cream Man now. I'm not gonna watch it at all.
No,
Uh, and now knowing that that's what he's like into, I've seen some of the things he's come out and said also that have really kind of bothered me. So I'm just kind of put off by this whole thing. And us being who we are, I figured that you guys would give us some really good insight. Is Corridor Digital? Are those the three guys that break down movie scenes and stuff like that?
yeah,
The visual effects
all of
artists.
them, yeah.
Yeah, I love. I'm sorry about the dog. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, those guys. Those guys are awesome. I think I've sent you guys a couple of their clips and stuff too. Um,
Hmm.
it's so refreshing though to see that people do still care about it, and there is
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
people like Christopher Nolan are still keeping the craft alive. Bailey Keys.
Yeah.
Destin Daniel Creighton, we saw like literally driving a crane through the city.
yeah.
Um, it's just I'm just glad that there are still people keeping it alive. Uh,
And you know what's crazy? Let me say that to the Daniel Creighton thing. What's crazy is there are people who will hate on Spider-Man because it's not only that they don't like people want the practical swinging. We want that idea, that visual there, and we got it. A lot of people are now going back on it and saying, "Why isn't it filmed in New York?" Okay, how about you stop all of New York City to
No
film
way that's
this
happening.
thing? It's like
Yeah.
It's like,
What?
okay, first off, that's a nitpick. That's a nitpick. That's a you thing, because I could care less if as
Why
long
isn't
as I'm
everybody Greek
feeling
in
like
the
it's New
Odyssey?
York.
Shh, please
Yup.
hush.
Thank you, thank you. It's the dumbest thing. Like, stop nitpicking and just
Like
watch it.
when
Like,
Spider-Man is swinging around,
like
can you really tell that that's not New York?
Oh.
No.
exactly. I saw a video. Someone was like, you could tell that when they're on the boat scene and it's Frank and Spider-Man, you could tell that that's not New York. It's like, how?
You're inside.
can't.
Tell me how
Oh,
you can tell.
like,
Like, how can you
So
tell?
stupid.
Because of the background?
I did love
Like,
that shot
just-
of
that
shot
is
of Peter and MJ in the thing after he catches a propeller and stuff was so reminiscent of Spider-Man 2. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that
Yeah.
in the breakdown. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, to your point, Mike, I think it's unfortunate that this is how it's going, and I feel like there's a movie coming up that we want to see. It's called The End of Oak Street, and there's some discourse going online, and the movie studio or the movie itself has taken it down because I don't think I don't know the story behind it, but there's like AI dogs talking about the movie on a podcast, and they posted it, and then they immediately took it down. And was like, yeah, we're not using this. Like, I don't know if they came to their senses. I don't know, like, if they were tagged in it or whatever the case may be. But like, yeah, it's gotten to the point to where I think inevitably it's going to be, oh, AI's here, and we're just gonna have to, it's just not going away, which is unfortunate, and I hate
It
that.
seems that every trailer that comes out now, there's discourse. It's like there's AI in this trailer. There's AI in this trailer, and it's just like, man,
Yeah,
I don't. Again, that's why I wanted to bring it up because I don't know where the line is, and we can say we can tell, but like when these billion-dollar corporations are pumping money into this, and they're again like reposting clips of AI things and like then, but you're still like you're feeding into it. You're still
Yep.
It's the same cycle, and yeah, I just had to gripe for it a little bit.
Yeah.
no, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. So, Steven, you want to close us out, my friend?
Yeah. As we always say, we always appreciate you guys listening to Past the Silver Screen and our sister podcast, Fandom Frequency. We have a lot of stuff that we have planned that we want to go through and make for you guys, and I think it's just about to get better. So, yeah, definitely check out the last episode if you haven't. If not, make sure you follow our socials. We post all of our updates on there. But we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for sitting with us.
Love you.
See you.